I thought in this video I'd do something slightly different. A few weeks ago my partner threw this away, and it's a little TV, monitor or whatever, and I'm thinking I'm going to strip it down, see if I can identify any of the components in it and maybe rip out the backlight. I can use the backlight as a light for video recording and whatever. Anyway, let's have a quick look at it. Alright, so what are we looking at here exactly? Let's have a closer look at it. So it says Technica, which Technica I think is a home brand, or it's certainly a cheap brand of Tesco. Tesco is the largest supermarket in the UK. Anyway, so you've got serial number, the model, the voltage, so it's 45 watts, which that's quite a lot for a little telly like this, but anyway, it's not a digital one. I can see over here that it's got analog inputs. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. Analog. It's very dirty. I'll give it a quick wipe, but anyway, whatever. Anyway, so I'll just open this thing up and have a closer look, I suppose. Let's zoom back out. Let's open it up. Oh, by the way, before I do open it, I've plugged it in, and I can see that power does get to it, but the actual screen doesn't turn on. So the screen could be wrecked. I mean, the screen might not work. I really don't know at this point. But I'm going to open it up anyway and see what happens. Get that out of the way. And what have we got inside here? Let's bring this thing closer. Right, so to start with, I'll just turn it the other way around so you can see. There's the screen. And then underneath here, what have we got? So we've got a speaker and another speaker. Is that an LED or something? Or is it a button? Let's have a quick look again. It looks like an LED, so that's an LED. What else have we got here? We've got the main board here, which I won't be using. We've got a transformer. There's the control board there, it looks like, to change the channel and whatever else. The TFT, well, the LCD screen is in here, which I might try and get that out in a bit. We've got some other sort of board here. I don't really know what that's for. They are labelled though, so that's good news. It says LP there, and then it's got a chip number on it, so okay, that's good. There's a chip here as well, which if I might be able to read. It. It says Micron, and then it's got a chip number. Cool. We've got some more inputs here. Oh, no, actually, these are outputs, are they? Maybe outputs or inputs, I don't know. We've got a fuse. So that's good. The fuse is intact, which I can see there. At the moment there's nothing here that I really want to keep, so I think I'll just disassemble this thing. Now I've got to be very careful because I've noticed that just here there's a 400 volt capacitor at 47 microfarads, and that amount of voltage isn't very nice, so I'm going to be very careful of that. There's a fuse as well, so yeah, I'm going to be very careful of that capacitor. Anyway, I suppose I'll undo it. So there's the first part of the assembly out, if you like. I mean, and what have we got here? We've got some sort of, I don't know, is that sort of aerial tuner or something like that? We've got some other inputs or possibly outputs there. We've got some chips which look quite interesting, and we've got two big diodes. I might take those diodes out because they're pretty heavy duty, and I could probably have a use for those in the future. So I'll probably take those out, and I don't think I'll solder them. I think I'll just cut them straight out. So I think I'll keep those. The chips, I'm not familiar with the chips. I don't really know what they are. This one here, again, it probably isn't going to be very useful. Oh, what's that on the back there? Another chip. I don't think I'll need to, recover these chips or anything. I won't need any of these jacks. The capacitors are pretty ordinary capacitors. I don't think I'll need those. There's a chip there. I wonder what that chip is. It says CSI 24C64LT. Now 24C64. I wonder if that's an EEPROM. I don't really know, but I'm going to take that one out and I'll keep that just because it's easy, and if I don't want it I'll just throw it away. What else? There's a crystal there, but I don't think I need that. I think that board's pretty much junk, so I'll just put that to one side. What's next? So we've got this board now, and I don't really know what this board is. Let's see if we can find out. I wonder if this is the control board. It could be. Let me just reposition the camera. Yeah, so this board could be the control board, but I'm not too sure. I don't recognise any of the chips. Again, don't recognise any of those. I'll just pull that out. Pull this out as well, so take that off. Now how do you undo this? Now there's the screw there. So here's this board. Now again, I don't really know what this board is, but there's an inductor. There's a very big chip there which is blocked off by this. Oh, there you go, I've just took that, whatever that is, off. It says NEC D61115GM, and we've got LP to D1216A. What's this TDM UK? Let's see what that is. I can't read it. Okay, but anyway, there's the other board. Now, what's that? Is that called CF? Compact Flash or something? I'm not too sure. And on this side, what's that? Sempra Test OK, it says, with an EY. Anyway, I'm still not really any much better off with this. I don't really know what that is, but I'll pull that to one side as well. So what have we got next? Next is here. I'll just zoom out so we can see. Now, I do know what this is because it's obvious. This is the power board. And I know that, of course, because power comes in, and we've got this capacitor here, and we've got a transformer, and some generally bigger capacitors. So, yeah, I know what that is. But whether it's useful or not, well, that's a different matter. I don't think it is very useful. Anyway, I'll take it out, but I'm going to be especially careful with this one, because, like I said, there's that capacitor in it. I don't particularly want to touch that capacitor. Okay, and there's the next board, and this is the power board, and on here we've got some quite big capacitors. I think I will take the good capacitors, the fairly big ones. We've got what looks like a MOSFET or a transistor or something. I don't think I'll bother with that. And then we've got this little transformer, and I think I will take the transformer. I think this might be a switch mode power supply, because I've seen this before where they have two transformers. So yeah, we've got some what look like filtering capacitors or something as well. So to be honest, I'm not too knowledgeable about this sort of thing. But there we go. I've got some big resistors as well, and another big diode. So cool. I'll put this to one side, and I'm going to be very careful so as to not touch this right hand side of the board, because potentially that's live. So yeah, I suppose what I could have done really is I could have tested all this to make sure power was getting through certain areas, you know, see if I could find a reason as to why this little telly wouldn't turn on, but I'm not particularly bothered. I'll just have a play about with it. So I'll put this to one side. Next, I think I'll just get rid of these wires. Now these magnets on here, these might be quite powerful magnets, so let's have a quick look. There's the speaker, but I just want the magnet really. I suppose it might be glued on with epoxy resin or something. The speaker says 16 ohms, 5 watts. So I don't know anything about audio electronics at all. Sorry, did I say audio? Audio electronics. But 16 ohm speaker. Let's see if I can get the magnet off. No. So yeah, if anyone knows anything about that, you can let me know. 16 ohm, 5 watt speaker. I've got 2 of those. Next, I've got this little LED module which I won't be using. I mean, I've got thousands of LEDs, so I won't be needing that. And now I think it might be time to get the actual panel out. So let's give this a go. Oh, there we go. So here's the screen, and yeah, I think I'll take this back panel thing off it now. There's this I don't know, like a case thing around it. The amount of dust that's come out of here is ridiculous. There you go, just a dirty cloth. Right, so I've got this thing out now. The camera doesn't seem to be picking it up very well, but it's actually really nice. It's a really nice thing to handle, and it's nice, like brushed aluminium. Looks really nice. Anyway, so I've not really got a use for this thing. I was thinking it would be good if I could turn it into a monitor for Arduino. If I did that, it would have to be a black and white monitor, but you know, I don't care about that. And if that was not going to work, then the other thing I could do with it is turn it into a light. You'd basically just use the backlight inside it to, I don't know, light up whatever for my videos. Now, this one here, I assume this is for the data or something. I need to research a bit more about this. What I'm going to do in a bit is Google the model number which is there, and I'll see if any info comes up. But for the time being, I've got these 2 leads here, and it seems fairly obvious to me that these are for the backlight. And that's interesting because I'd like to power them up and see if the thing actually lights up. So I think that's what I'll do now. So I'm going to, I don't know if this is the right thing to do really, but I'm going to snip this off. I'm going to snip the other one off as well. Let's get rid of these little clips, and let's just free a bit of this wire. Strip it back a bit. Take this rubbish away as well. And yeah, I'm going to power it up with my my desktop power supply, and I'll see if the backlight lights up, and if it does, then at least I know that I could potentially use this thing as a torch, or you know, a studio light or whatever, you know. Right, so I've set my power supply up, and I'll connect the ground to the ground, of course, and the well, the plus to the plus. Now, what I expect is half of the screen should light up. Now, it might not, because this thing was broken, and I don't know like exactly what's broken. Was the circuitry broken, or was the actual backlight broken? I really don't know. So let's apply some voltage to it and see what it does. Let's start with 3 volts. Alright, I've spent some time researching this thing and found out what could be going on, and it seems that these things actually are powered by AC voltage. They're not DC, which is, you know, I found that to be a bit unusual, but what do I know? I don't work with these things. So yeah, it appears to be powered by AC. So what I did then is I thought, well, I'll get the original power board and test it, see how much voltage comes out of the port or the socket on the power board, and no voltage come out of it, which of course suggests that there's a problem with the power board. So, you know, whatever. But anyway, then I thought, well, I'll just power this myself then. I'll just wire this up to 250 volts and we'll see what happens. Which I wasn't expecting it to work, but it turns out that it didn't work. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it turns out, it seems that the power board is broken, and it seems that probably this is also broken, but I'm not too sure. So what I'm going to do next is attempt to look at these cathode things and attempt to get one out. So that's what I'm going to do now. So I'll just open this thing up and carry on, I suppose. Alright, so I've got these things out. I mean, are they okay or are they broken? I really have no idea. I don't know anything about these, but there they are anyway. I mean, I assume I should try and power them, and if they don't power, then I know they're not working, but I've already tried that with 250 volts, so I don't know. What I'm going to do is look to see if I can buy replacements. So I'll try and find the model number and try and buy these things and go from there, I suppose. So I've tested these things out, of course, and I don't really know if I used the right voltage or whatever. According to the data sheet, I did use the right voltage, which was about 500 volts RMS, or, you know, 250, whatever, and they didn't work. And I can see that there's like black marks on them and whatever, so I think they probably are broken. So when that thing was outside and she threw it away, assumably it was because the backlight had gone. So yeah, it looks like that's the problem. So I'd have to buy new backlights and then, you know, hope that it's going to work then, which it might or might not. But I was thinking, since CCFLs are an older technology, I wouldn't really want to buy new ones. So what about LEDs? Well, I have a ribbon of these LEDs here, and on the face of it, it looks like, you know, there's not going to be enough, and I don't know if this is going to work, but if I give this thing 12 volts, I believe it needs 12 volts or so, you can see that the things light up, and it's actually quite bright. So I don't know, will this thing work or won't it? I don't really know. I'll just turn the lights off so you can see how bright it is. I'm looking at them now and they're quite bright, so I'm thinking, should I put these in and try it again? I mean, I don't think they're going to be as bright as the CFLs, but I don't know, maybe this would work or maybe not. So, we'll see. So I've just checked, and it looks as though they won't actually work, and the reason is because they don't fit in. They're not quite thin enough, but it's just got me thinking, if I was to buy a very thin ribbon of these, then I think it would work. So I'll have a look on eBay and see if I can find any. Anyway, I think that's the project over for the time being. So I've tore down an LCD monitor and discovered that I think the problem is that the backlights have broken. So yeah, currently the thing's in bits, it's all over my desk, and I'm in two minds: do I throw it or do I keep messing with it? And I think I'll probably keep messing with it. So anyway, thanks for watching, and see you again soon. Bye!